We think we know what animals look like, right? Majestic, cute, cuddly, but what if I told you that's all kind of a lie? What if the one thing that defines them, their fur, is actually hiding a shocking and, yes, sometimes terrifying reality?
I mean, have you ever really stopped and tried to picture it? What some of the most familiar creatures on Earth would actually look like if you took away that one single thing?
That outer coat of fur or feathers that pretty much defines our entire perception of them.
Well, that's exactly what we're about to do. We're going to go behind the curtain, or, in this case, behind the fur, to see the hidden truth.
Because, believe me, that cozy, familiar layer is hiding some stuff that is truly shocking. So let's just dive right in. And we're going to start with the king of the jungle, or at least what we think of as the king.
So for our first example, let's look at the very symbol of strength and majesty, the tiger, an animal whose power seems totally wrapped up in its appearance.
Yeah, the tiger. When you picture one, you're thinking royal, magnificent, powerful. That striped fur is just an icon of grace. But that's just our expectation.
The reality? Oh, it's something else entirely. Without its fur, the tiger is transformed. It becomes, and this is a direct quote, a walking killing machine with no softness left. That whole royal image just vanishes.
The change is just staggering. The skin is pulled super tight over its frame, exposing every single defined muscle. You're not looking at a beautiful cat anymore. You're looking at the raw predatory power plant underneath.
So stripping away fur can reveal raw power. But what happens when you strip away the layers from animals we see as just cute? Well, as it turns out, their cuteness is often just feather deep.
Just take a look at the penguin. With its feathers, it's adorable, right? Fluffy, a little clumsy, we all love them. But without the feathers, it turns into something, well, alien-like. It's got this smooth, rubbery body and this really awkward shape that honestly looks like it's from another world.
And hey, it's the exact same story with the owl. We picture this wise, fluffy, noble bird of the night. All those feathers give it this look of volume and wisdom.
But you take away those feathers, and you get this. It looks less like a wise old sage and way more like a skinny little dinosaur perched on these shockingly long, thin legs that are almost always hidden from view. It's a complete reinvention of the animal.
Even the common chicken relies on this illusion. Its feathers create a kind of magic, making it look plump and sturdy. But without them, that magic just disappears, revealing this fragile, pinkish creature with all its muscle lines visible. And it's not just about looks. For some animals, taking away the fur changes their whole perceived personality. It can take them from clever to kind of creepy in an instant.
Think about a fox. What comes to mind? That big, bushy tail, right? And a sharp, intelligent face that we associate with being witty and cunning.
But when you get rid of the fur, that whole perception just flips. Without the softness of its coat, those same sharp features don't look clever anymore. They just look creepy. The entire feel of the animal changes.
In fact, the source material describes it perfectly. It says the furless fox gives off a cartoon villain energy. And it's so true. The clever little trickster's gone, and it's replaced by something that feels a bit more sinister.
Okay, our final example takes this whole concept to a completely new level, connecting the reality of animals without fur to the ancient world of myths and monsters.
Let's talk about the bear. You see a polar bear, you assume it's white through and through, big and white. But get this, the skin under all that fur is actually black. So right off the bat, the appearance is a total deception.
But the biggest shock comes when you imagine it without any fur at all. What you'd see is a body with these massive, powerful muscles that look almost, well, human-like in their structure.
And this is where it all clicks. Imagine you're an ancient human. You come across a bear that's lost its fur, and you see these huge, eerily human-like muscles. Then it stands up on two legs. In that single moment, you can see the birth of a legend, the origin of myths about werewolves and powerful beast-like humanoids.
So, this all leads to one big final question. We've just seen that an animal's fundamental appearance, its power, its cuteness, its personality, is often just an illusion created by a layer of fur. So what else in the world around us are we completely misunderstanding just because of what we see on the surface?